Hello, everyone. Okay, so we're back again, and this time we're going to talk about Wings of Dread. It's the new film starring Uwais. I only got wind of this recently, and there was an article I just came across by chance. Basically, new action movie with Uwais set to debut on the 3rd of July, today, and it was debuting on iQIYI. So, I had some familiarity with because I was a huge fan of their series or their adaptation of The Legend of the White Snake. It came back in out in 2019 and had Ju Jing Yi as Bai Su Jen. Wonderful, wonderful series. And then, of course, Aichi got my attention again recently with they were involved with the Shadow's Edge, Jackie Chan's film, and now we get this. And basically, in anticipation of this, I had a look online, to download the Aichi app. So, gotta say, pleasantly surprised at how easy it was to get hold of and get set up. So downloaded it on the TV, no problem. Created an account, no problem. And then they had like a subscription. I mean, you do need like to pay a subscription fee. At the minute, they've got a great subscription price of 99 pence for the first month. So I was like, let's do that. Um, so yeah, set that up, no problem. And obviously in anticipation of this, and finally dropped. It didn't drop straight away. I think it was as it got towards this afternoon. It finally was available to watch. So anyway, got sat and just dived in. Right. So what I'll say off the bat, this thing is in and out in less than 90 minutes, which is honestly, I love that. We need to get back to more of these kinds of films, man. I love it when, I mean, I always say a movie should be as long as it needs to be. A movie's not good or bad if it's long or short, but I do appreciate films that are less than 90 minutes. It's good, simple, solid stuff. So there's a prisoner transport taking place on a flight, and our main character, he is an air marshal, but the twist on it is he's not actually on duty at this point. He's basically trying to reconnect with his she was due to be his fiance, but the relationship is on the rocks, and she works as a flight attendant. So sure enough, he gets booked on the flight that she's working on, and wouldn't you know, won the pony. All of this and the prisoner transportation is taking place on this very same flight, and the flight is populated by a whole host of colourful individuals. There is a wackiness, a zaniness to this movie, which I do kind of appreciate. Also, I've got a real thing for films that take place either in airports or on planes. Like, obviously, I love Die Hard too. I love Executive Decision. Of course, Scott Adkins, One More Shot. That was a whole lot of fun, and this joins the list. Yeah, it's got elements, Die Hard elements, Executive Decision elements, stuff like that. Non-stop with Liam Neeson. What a joy that was. I got to see that movie in the cinema. I missed its initial run, but they did like like an event of where they brought it back, I think, for whatever. There was some kind of promotion going on, and I was so glad to catch it. Yeah, I really like Non-Stop. This film has a lot in common with that. Again, schlocky. Very schlocky. This has no delusions of grandeur at all, but it's just fun, simple, solid stuff. We've got our main character. He's kind of the John McClane of the piece. And you've got that element of the Rocky relationship. He's got to, he's got to save his wife to be and rekindle the flame in the process. Obviously, Iko Uwais, he basically is the main villain of the piece. He does a wonderful job. I mean, I just really love the way he plays it in this. He's just very Mr. Cool, Mr. Casual, and then obviously when he's revealed to be, because obviously he passes himself off as just one of the regular passengers at first, and then there's the reveal, and then it's go time, and when the action starts, man, it's thick and fast. The choreography for this, as you might expect, is very, very well done. You've got actors there who can perform it, and then just the team behind the camera, they know how to capture it. Brilliant, brilliant camera work. Well edited again. You can appreciate what's going on. You're not at risk of a seizure by spastic editing, or spastic camera work. It's honestly, and there's some real creative sequences. They make full use of this plane, by the way. And even, you know, you always admire these fight scenes that are designed for these like real confined spaces. You have some real close quarters combat, and like you have a fight that takes place in one of the like onboard toilets. They make full use of that. But yeah, a fun cast of characters, some real cool characters. Always makes for a really cool villain. One of the great things about him, obviously we know him and love him as Rama from both of the Raid movies, but he functions equally well, when he's in a villainous role. Like, obviously, in The Night Comes For, I mean, there's no real good guys in The Night Comes For Us. It's kind of like bad guys or morally grey guys taking care of guys who are even worse. In this case, in The Night Comes For Us, Iko Uwais just happens to be one of those guys who's even worse. But he functions very, very well in that capacity. And this was a blast. Obviously, it is definitely a streaming movie. Absolutely, it is. But with that being said, Expendables 4 got a theatrical release. Not a very long one. It died pretty much on its feet. It was dead on arrival. I was one of the my goofy ass paid to see it in the theatre because I actually had hope for that to be good. Statham being more in the centre stage and Iko Uwais as the main villain. Tony Jaa is in it too, but oh dear, oh dear. What I will say is this film, Wings of Dread, this is twice the movie that Expendables 4 was. But yeah, honestly, it's good, simple, solid stuff, in and out in less than 90 minutes. It's a joy. And like I say, the characters are all perfectly likable, and the way like they band together to fight back against the hijackers. It's cool. The one character of note I would like to give special mention to is the actual she's the female like air marshal, because you have like the officers that are on board as part of the prison transfer unit, or the prisoner transfer unit, and then you have her who's like the designated air marshal. She was great. And when I mentioned that fight that takes place in the onboard toilet, yeah, that's her fight scene. And it's there's some hard hitting stuff in this. Like, this movie's a lot of fun, but then things get real as well, and our characters in here take some real nasty hits. But she's great. The air marshal in this, she's again. I don't think the full cast list's available. Otherwise, I'd have made an effort to like name check and look her up. But she's great. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of action cinema, and obviously like Hong Kong action cinema, and stuff from Japan as well. But we've been treated over the years to some real wonderful female action heroes. There's certain individuals or individual characters that I point to as kind of representative of the gold standard. A few examples right off the bat would be like Joyce Godenzi in Eastern Condors, or Tsushiomi in Legend of the Eight Samurai. Michelle Yeoh, there's so many different roles for Michelle Yeoh, of course, but I always really like the role she played in Magnificent Warriors. So they're like shining examples of the gold standard, for, as far as I'm concerned, for female action heroes. You know, these ones where they don't pander, you know, they don't give them any kind of special treatment or flag with, or look like, you know, that whole like strong woman, you know, they don't. It's just these are characters that just happen to be female and they just get it done. Obviously, you know, for us in like Western audiences, probably our gold standard still to this day is Sigourney Weaver in Aliens. And then I think a really great modern example comes to us. We mentioned The Night Comes For Us, but Julia Estelle in The Night Comes For Us as the operator is excellent. But I think genuinely, not to overstate it, but I really like the air marshal in this film, and I think she kind of is a great homage to those sorts of characters. You know, she belongs in that conversation, which tremendous compliment, and all praise to her. She's great, and again, you know, she doesn't come in here with, you know, there's no agenda in play. Look, you know, saying, "Oh, look at how strong and powerful and independent and confident female characters can be." It's like, no, she just happens to be a female air marshal, and she just gets it done. And when the chips are down, she just gets on with it, and that's what we need more of. You know what I mean? It's refreshing. It's refreshing. But it would be nice to get to a point, like you say, you know, where it doesn't even become an issue anymore. It's like, oh no, it's you know, where we can just say it's just a great character, it just happens to be female. But onwards and upwards. But yeah, wonderful, wonderful characters. Again, real in out stuff. It ends, you know, quite a positive message. You know, appreciative of the work that well, the police and the air marshals do. And you know, has ends in a nice on a nice feel good note. You know, like our previously estranged couple. You know, they're reunited and it feels so good. Yeah, but this is again. I know a lot of. I've looked online and you know on the discussion boards. You know, a lot of people have been waiting for this one. You know, waiting to finally hear some news because I think it's been shot for a while, but never was any definitive statement on when it was going to be released or where it was going to be released. I think that article that I stumbled on is just a few days old, so it's all very, you know, it's all still very like recent stuff that it, you know, like set to be released today, July 3rd, and so if you haven't had chance to check it out yet, obviously the iQIYI app is very readily available, and they're having that wonderful offer of the first month for 99 pence. And yeah, you know, it played perfectly. Obviously, it was subtitled in English, so very, you know, very easy for me to watch it. So yeah, go seek it out. Again, it's a fun way to kill 90 minutes. It's a good solid actioner, and great to see Eco doing his thing. I mean, he's been, like I say, he's tried to make the break into like more Western films, but it's been a mixed bag. It really, really has. Like for example, like I cannot tell you how crushingly disappointing Expendables 4 was for me. That should have been. There's no excuses for that. You got Statham versus Eco, and like you say, you're chucking Tony Jaa in there for good measure. It should have been easy, but they botched it. But it seems like Eco is kind of taking control of his own destiny now. Like you can see that he was creatively involved in this. Like they have a nice moment at the end before the credits roll where they show you some behind the scenes stuff, and you can see obviously Eco is very heavily involved with, you know, And then obviously he's created his own production company, hasn't he? And I think he's made a handful of films already that are in, the shot, they're ready to go. But it's good to see him kind of taking control of his own destiny, because he's been given the runaround, and he's been basically misused or underused. I still can't believe what we got in I don't talk about Star Wars much anymore, but Force Awakens, I cannot tell you. Like, Eco's there, Yayan's there. I always remember, is it C-Sep or C-Chep? Or he's there with them, isn't he? And they literally just stand there, hold guns, and run off, and then get eaten. And I was like, oh, that's it for our guys from the raid, apparently. But yeah, it's good to see. They're all moving on to bigger and better things and more rewarding things. Like, there you go. That was one of the things that utilised Eco really well in Triple Threat. I love Triple Threat. Triple Threat's what Expendables should have been. Triple Threat was a blast. And then obviously we've got more exciting stuff for Eco coming up. He's teaming with Scott Adkins again, isn't he? On they're doing another Skylines movie, so excited for that. I think he's just been working with Lewis Tan. Now Lewis Tan, we've got a bit of a rocky relationship because I didn't like him at all as Cole Young. But do you know what? It wasn't his fault. That was just the material and the direction he was given. What I will say about Lewis Tan, he is a phenomenal martial artist, and he can do the action scenes absolutely. So getting to see Eco and Lewis Tan together in just a straight up action movie. I don't need Lewis Tan to have any kind of rich character development or any dialogue heavy stuff to do or any dramatic stuff to do. I just want to see Lewis Tan look cool, be cool, and have some great action scenes. If we get more of that, we're going to be fine. Like, it's fine. Having a limited wheelhouse within which you operate, it's fine. It's fine. Just kind of like know your limitations and just focus on doing what you do to the best of your ability. No problem. And also, the deck was stacked against Lewis Tan in Mortal Kombat from the get go, because you have that whole universe full of characters that people know and love. Mortal Kombat has no shortage of characters, so the idea is like, oh, who's our main character for this? Like, oh, we created an original character, and everyone's like, oh. But yeah, moving swiftly on, I definitely recommend this Wings of Dread for a 99 pence month for the month subscription. Also, I got to check out. There's a film on there. You'll see it as you're scrolling down, cause the poster for it's a real attention getter. Zhu Dongdong. She's the lead, and she's playing this like femme fatale in these thigh high boots and this like skin tight mini dress. It looks as good as it sounds. It's fun. It's nonsense, but it's quite stylish. And she's sexy as hell. And there's also the sequel on there as well, Wild Agent 2, Peachberry. I was too busy looking at Shu Dong Dong. I can't remember the full title. She's from Harbin, and from personal experience, I can tell you that very, very good things come out of Harbin. Yeah, yeah. Um, but that wraps this up. Go watch Wings of Dread. It's a good spend of 99 pence, and like I say, more of this. More of this. And looking forward to what Eco has coming up in the future. Thank you for listening to me ramble. If you've seen Wings of Dread already, please feel free to share your thoughts. If not, if you didn't even know it was out now, it's out now on iQIYI. Go watch it. You'll have a blast with it. Enjoy, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.